The question is the House to now adjourn, and I call the honourable member for Lyne.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to speak about government achieving value for money and the concept and reality of reverse tariffs. Achieving value for money is always important in any transaction, but it's critical when you're purchasing $40 billion in goods and services with third-party funds. Now, this is the situation that the federal government departments find themselves in annually. State and local governments also have enormous procurement budgets, and the similar principle of achieving value for money is paramount for them just as well. Now, regular transactions by federal government of size and regularity mean government's decisions exercise enormous influence in the markets in which they purchase goods. Long-term government supply contracts often run for years and can deliver successful tenderers a degree of certainty and ability to plan and enact long-term efficiencies, and can put a solid base under their business that allows them to invest and achieve other outcomes that otherwise wouldn't have been possible. On the flip side, the loss of a long-term contract, whether it's from a private purchaser or government, can render any business a major blow. But many Australian domiciled companies producing goods are often unsuccessful securing government contracts on the basis that value for taxpayers' dollar equates to whatever is the lowest ticket price alone. Now, it's entirely sensible and good practice in business-to-business transactions to assess value for money on the criteria of ticket price and quality of goods that fit for purpose alone. But it's not exactly the same for governments, as different consequences follow government transactions. Governments not only own the good or service, but they also can recoup a large slice of the purchase price if they purchase it from Australian domiciled producers. When a federal, state or local government department purchases goods from genuine domestic-based producers, Treasuries can potentially receive a rebate of up to 40 cents in the dollar between all of them down the line from either PAYE tax, Medicare levies, company tax, GST, as well as all the same from associated local suppliers who benefit from the local economic multiplier effect. There are even benefits to the humble local council government, with councils raising rates from business and employees, as well as equipment purchases and businesses in their local areas that attract miscellaneous fees and charges. Also, the Department of Social Security also benefits when local employment continues and government avoids the subsequent liabilities for New Start benefits and employment stimulus and retraining programs. Decisions on huge government purchases appear to be too often made within their own departmental silo, without the costs or benefits to Treasury or Social Security being assessed. For example, in the paper industry, manufacturers recently ascertained that 15 of 22 federal government departments purchase simple A4 copy paper and other paper supplies from overseas manufacturers. Yet recently, one plant in the Shoalhaven just announced its closure and 75 people will soon be unemployed. Yet this same paper industry has analysed their benefits to government, and for every ream of paper they produce locally, the government gets an immediate return of $1.88. And in all across the country, the returns in taxes from local production amount to $430 million annually. Recently, an Australian boot manufacturer was unsuccessful in a government tender awarded to a company importing boots produced and assembled overseas. How ironic and sad that the same bootmaker is now applying for federal government assistance in retraining and transitional programs that were designed for car or automotive manufacturers. Too often government departments are ignorant to or do not calculate the impact of long-term embedded government regulation, standards and taxes that function as reverse tariffs, as their competitors are excused compliance from them. They all increase the price of Australian products, and it's very hard for any government to, any company to tender in competition with overseas competitors when the same government ties the local companies' hands behind their backs with red, green and industrial relations, red tape
has
and
expired.
taxes.
And I call the honourable member. The question is that